Hello and welcome to the frequency weather of the upcoming week. I am Petra Else Jekel, and this morning I drew 3 cards of the manifestation cards for entrepreneurs in our group Creative Entrepreneurs on Facebook, and they just tell me what the vibrational feeling is that might inspire us the most for this moment. And since it comes through me, it first inspires me, so I let it come through me, touch my cells, and then I will tell it in another way at Creativity TV here now than I do in the morning in the group in our community. And I felt that there was something to say about those 3 cards, because we have the place where process and procedure meet. The procedure being your creative identity, your unique way, how you bring forth creation in the now. It's always a verb that we're looking for if you are trying to research what your creative identity is, because it's the way in which you do it. And I know that many coaches will say you don't have to think about how to create, because the universe will take care of that. And we are doing especially placing interest in the how, which is the creative identity, which is in a creative process language, the procedure. So that's in a way another approach, because I feel, I sense, I believe, I lived for the last 15 years the truth that I just feel that when you are looking for your why instead of your how, because that's what a lot of people say, right? Look for your why, because that's your motivation to go after what you want. So why should I do anything? Why should I get up from the couch? Well, look for your why and not for your how, because the universe will take care of that. And I say no, find your how, find your verb through which creation comes through you, and you will be blessed with the richnesses of what already is and what will come into place the next moment rightfully for you. Because you will only be looking for the why when you apparently are not in relationship with your how. So that's the consequence of it. I think that's a key thing. You're not in relationship, and that's why you are grasping for a motivation, needing one in the first place, and then trying to find the answers for your why question, because you want to be motivated. And that's just all not in the now, because when you were in the now, you would have had contact and were in relationship with that creative source, place and moment through which the universe creates through you, that door. So apparently you just swam away from that door in your own river, and when you listen to those coaches, that's a strong indication that you're not home, and those people will also not bring you home, although they may teach you many good things. So don't get me wrong, and if you're attracted there and you like it, just do it. It's not per se wrong, because nothing is wrong. When it's not conducive to soul creation, it can be conducive to something else. But the point is that here we're learning soul creation. So the next card we have is money. And that's a nice card because it means not money. So that's funny, of course, because it actually means the created value, because value, it's a vibrational thing, right? You can feel it whether something is valuable to you or not. So when it's something is closer to your vibrational core essence source, your creative source, when it's closer to it, it holds more value. But that's only true if you experience that. So do you experience that? So do you experience any value at all, or do you feel not valuable? How I felt most of my life before today. Or a lot of moments. So by the way, I create these moments in my life, also the moments that I talk to you, to also make contact with that true value myself. So I have days and weeks and months and years in which I can make contact with that consciously time and time again. And this is one of those moments. You can also pick a moment to meditate every day, of course, and find and schedule a time for that. If you have difficulty scheduling time as a thing in itself, then you have to watch last week's video again that just got uploaded, because that's where I speak about boundaries in time and how you co-create with true value with that sort of seemingly limited area of those things, but it's really crucial to let them co-create. Anyway, so do you actually experience your value? And that's only accessible in the now and through that door. So yeah, and when you speak about value, then money is sort of the logic manifestation of that in the actual real world, like the physical world, I mean. Yeah, but it's not the only manifestation of it. In fact, everything is a manifestation of value. When you are in that now, when you really make contact with that vibrational reality, then things have value. The things that you find, the things that you are attracted to when you are in that place, that's what manifested value is. And it's very good, and I really feel that I have to stress that in this video for this week, that we already have so many things. We already have manifested this in which I'm sitting now, and this body and this environment, this workshop space, and you as an audience, and the creativity system that through which I try to explain the things and hopefully touch you in a meaningful way. So we already manifested, we live in a manifested world, and maybe you have another preferred manifestation than the now. But that would only be accessible through accepting the now. So opening yourself for the now is just of major importance, and that, by the way, means to have all your cells of your body opening themselves for the truth of the moment. We have such a habit of only experiencing with our heads, maybe something like this, or maybe until here, or maybe you can feel the heart a bit. I was totally heart blocked for a lot of time in my life, by the way, and but then the invitation is to feel even further until the tips of your toes. And do we actually feel with all of that fields of sensing all at once? Because people talk about, I want to be whole, and I want to become whole, and I want to experience wholeness, but do they actually open their wholeness that they have and they are in the manifested world in the first place to be experiencing that, all of that, from tips of your toes to tips of your fingers to the top of your head? do you accept and experience and open the cells in all of those places in the first place? So that's really the question, because I never did. I had a tendency to say no to this world, and to nothing good came out of that. Well, a lot of not accepting yourself and not accepting the other person and not accepting my contribution to the world and not being able to hear what other people were saying. So that's just not really the idea, is it? But opening is really our greatest fear, isn't it? Well, it is of me, and I was lucky to be talking to someone for the last 10 years, Barbara, who is my sort of life coach, wholeness coach, spiritual development, personal and spiritual development coach. I saw every month at least. And I think we talked about getting another relationship with your fear, or getting in relationship with fear, as if fear is a manifested thing in itself. Well, we can acknowledge that it exists, right? It does in my universe, and it's not very ideal, but imperfection is here to bring us the longing for what is perfect, the flow of creation itself, which is perfect, the source from which it comes is perfect. Being in that process is perfect. Allowing yourself to let go in that process is perfect. So to be in relationship with fear, because fear accompanies every step on your way from creation to creational source, creation idea, to manifestation, and every step in between that, or every time again as well, when you do that, your step will be accompanied by fear, because we're just stepping in the unknown. That's how it is. We have a third card for this week. So the invitation of this week is to find your procedure instead of being stuck in your process, or being fond of your process, so fond of it that you will let your process guide you instead of the time and time again tuning into your creative source, which in time creates a process, but you don't have to flow away in the process. So the invitation is find your procedure. Because yes, you are in a process, and it's good to acknowledge where you are, and that's where it all starts, accepting where you are. But the invitation then is to find your procedure. So find your how, what I said in the beginning, and not your why, because when you make contact, when you are in relation to your soul source, the why isn't a question. That's not there. Then you feel why, because you are alive, because creation wants to come through you, because you are a work of art. So why is not the question then. It's more a matter of experiencing that door, that how, from the place where you accept the current manifestation, your current creation fully. And by opening that how once more, once again, you might create a new moment of fun. And that's what I found to be for this week a keynote. That fun is so conducive in this process, but only when you are there, when you are in creation, or like in relation to your creativity stream, when you are in relation to your source, when you are in relation to the vibrational field that created you and through which you create worlds, planets, businesses, projects, meals, full moments of experience in meditation, poems, music. That's vibration. In essence, right? There we see it again. That's how we love vibration sometimes the most and the easiest in music. I was listening to music last night and the night before. I thought maybe just listen to a little bit of pop music again. I think I put on Ellie Goulding. Must have been pretty old for those people who really follow those pop music stuff. But I just loved it and I cried and it was just beautiful. Good melody, very well created songs. And suitable for me at that moment, or resonating with me at that moment, helped me let go of what was currently going on and needed to be let go of, to go to the next moment of creation. Because we have money, I will lead you to, maybe I will just lead you to some article about new value systems that I'm about, being cryptocurrencies, digital money systems like Bitcoin. You must have heard of that one, but there are more than 400 other systems functioning like Bitcoin. Money systems functioning like Bitcoin at this moment, and blockchain, the underlying technology of it, that can remember exact moments of value and keep them as an asset set in a cloud that just hangs in the air, and remember them forever. Nobody can erase it or make it undone. So these blocks form a chain in the cloud, hanging in the cloud. And well, we need to put our computers on, that's true. But for the rest, it really doesn't need anything. And this new system underlying to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies is just an invention that came into the world since 2009 and could just be taking over many fields of action and professional fields and fields that touch our private lives or our lives in general. in new ways that we don't know yet. So this blockchain is really a holding value and store it as an asset that is, you have to put your computer on, but then it's just it's just set there. It's an asset, you cannot take it away. So it could be a quite solid value system, or even now, but maybe even better in the future. It could be that we move to new versions of these kinds of technologies first before it becomes very widespread. We cannot really predict that, or it could go very fast. I studied all of these subjects for the last 4 years, and it's a part of what I teach in Meconomy, the business and creativity way of entrepreneurship and creating your own economy. And these cryptocurrencies based on blockchain are indeed quite an autonomous way, peer-to-peer. You don't need third parties. And it gives really another feeling, another life feeling, brings it with it. So yeah, I just held a talk for a women's event in Rotterdam last week about all of this and how this world co-creates with art and creative industry. My same old, but still great topic of my professional life. And I thought maybe it would be nice to leave you some links to look into that if you are attracted there. Just some tiny things to have a first hint. Not trying to persuade you in investing, not at all. Absolutely not, because one of the biggest misconceptions about this whole idea about crypto money and Bitcoin and all the kind of things is that you should go in it to make money with money. Well, that's just the last thing that I want to promote. It's just very uninteresting, and I think that kind of mentality just speaks loud to me that you haven't found your creative mindset yet that I find to be conducive to living in the me-economy and to valuing business and creativity in the right way and to be a true creative entrepreneur. So that's not what we're doing at all. It's just a very nice other experience to have this peer-to-peer value transaction in your life and to find out if that alternative that you sometimes can use, if it speaks to you and how it feels to you. Because there lies the big difference. Because from feeling, we create as well. So, yeah. You could create a very smooth, good feeling future that feels very autonomous with this value tool attached to it, and you could just start to try it out. That's maybe the invitation that is nice for this week. So the female feeling, it all has to it, the value that lies behind what is created, and yeah, this comes from a soul source that feels more male to me into the world through this or in this manifested feminine womb that is our earth. Yeah. But I feel that there is so much more to feel out into this world of value and money and male, female, soul and manifested world, much more than I can even grasp right now. So I will be feeling into that much more in the future, and we'll get back to it, I'm quite sure. That's also what creative leadership is about, by the way, these kind of processes, and also finding it out together what it means to us and how to exude that for the betterment of our relations and the future. So let's keep it at this. I will see you next week or in the group Creative Entrepreneurs. Bye.